Good evening. It is the Black Super Friends, hosted by the blackest of all the Black Super Friends. That'll be me, Zay, the ladies' man. Hope your weekend was wonderful. I see we have people that are celebrating here on the cast and in the comments. I'm going to bring to you my cast of best friends, brothers, my men in arms. I'm going to start with the unreasonable man today and see how his weekend was as we get into today's episode.
Normally we go to the
I guess they didn't want you to speak, Chris. It's all right. But we wanted to know about your weekend, my boy, But okay.
Oh man, my weekend was I got ditched by my daughter. She wanted to hang out with some of her new friends or whatever, and she ditched her daddy. But other than that, man, it was slow motion this weekend. Just slow motion. It wasn't nothing major. But I'm still here. I'm still kicking, so I'm happy to be here.
What's up? What about you, Mr. Hardy? How was your weekend, man?
Well, I don't know if you can see this, but I hope you can.
No, I ain't got my specs on.
So, this was another luxurious weekend looking at the Dallas Cowboys. See, I thought this weekend was going to be closer than what it was. A lot of people thought we were going to maul over, but I never maul over Belichick because he's a genius. You never can take that away. But, for years and years and years, that New England Patriots have put smut on my team. And this year, we whooped that, we patted that, and then, I didn't hear a lot. I didn't see a lot. Normally I get a couple texts, a couple memes. My Instagram and Facebook seem a little dry this year, since the Dolphins are in a slump like normal. The Patriots can't get over themselves. The Giants looking a little small. The Washington Redskins ain't been nothing since they not the Redskins no more. The Eagles. I can go on and on and on. But at the top of the ladder, it's going back to what it should be, And America's getting back right, y'all, because America's team is 5-1 going into the break. Y'all sit back and get ready, because if the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, you bet you we'll be going live from the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
Chris. Magnifico.
Good evening.
That every year, though.
Listen, when I seen that 5-1 and I seen them snatch another defeat from the jaws of victory, I really knew it was time to look upon the Lord and see to get my life together, because the Cowboys winning has to be a sign from above. But yeah, this weekend, man, right after this show, I'll be going to sleep. I've been traveling. I tell all the players out there, single men, high value men, there are some locations that need your accommodations. DC, Washington, DC, Virginia, Houston, Dallas, Toronto. Oh, they looking for brothers. They looking for men. They're not asking for cash apps. They're not asking for a lot. They just want a man. And they appreciate you up there. They'll even come up to you and offer to take you out to dinner and everything. Oh, it's so amazing. So that's all I got to say, ladies, man.
Did you beat some?
That's always so important.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
That was his meat then. Well, in this week's current news, we've had several black men that have made headlines, from Colin Powell to Larry Miller, who is a top exec at Nike, Jordan, down to Julius Jones. And I wanted to kind of highlight Julius Jones a little bit more, because in bringing up Julius Jones, I had no knowledge of it. So I had to go and do some research to see what exactly was this all about. Because at first I was thinking Julio Jones, and then, was I sadly mistaken, because this is way more in depth than that. So Julius Jones, if you haven't heard, he's a ex-Cowboy player who is wrapped up in a murder that he has from the beginning of time said that he did not commit, but he was found guilty. So some of the things with it, and people have been rallying behind him saying to stay his execution, because in Oklahoma, where he's located, he's on deck to be killed for something that he did not do. And it's crazy because yet again, there's evidence overwhelming that suggesting that he did not do it. However, they're, setting up to kill another black man. So that's troubling for me. And also, if you are a black man in America, you should be afraid when you see things like this, because it's almost like Emmett Till coming all the way back around again. But some of the things when I went to investigate and do some research on this that came about that kind of looked like the regular run of the mill whenever a black guy is accused of killing someone who is of the another race and usually white, came right up to the forefront. So Julius Jones at age 19 was convicted and put on death row. So I'm going to just hit these points. So he's 40 years old now. So he spent half of his days on earth behind bars, behind the crime that he definitely said that he did not do. And the craziest part about it is, with new and compelling evidence, it suggests that he has not committed the crime, yet the state attorney's office has upped the date to get this man out of here before the end of October. They want to have him executed. So that's crazy to me. You have 6.3 million people who have signed a petition, and the numbers climbing every day for them to stay the execution. Mr. Jones, who at the time stated that he was home, and it's proven that, well, I can't say it was proven, but stated that he was home eating dinner with his parents and his sister, even though their witnesses didn't work. He's still convicted, still on death row. Mr. Jones did not match the description of an eyewitness that was there. And the craziest part about it is Christopher Jordan, who is his co-defendant in this thing, and who ultimately took a plea and turned state evidence against Mr. Jones, matched the description to the T of the eyewitness. Crazy, right? Yeah. Welcome to America. The craziest part about that is Christopher Jordan, who was identified as the killer, stated he was not the killer, but only the getaway driver, and insisted that Mr. Jones was, and the state went for that. So in addition to this thing, he's the state star witness with being positively identified as being the killer. He's a state star witness. I want you guys to catch that. Now, in exchange for his testimony, they gave him 15 years, which made sure that he was free right now today to kill again if he so chose, but he's free. Some of the things, the racial bias that came up inside of this thing, I'm sorry about that, before we even get to the racial bias, let me not leave out that 3 men who were locked up with Mr. Jordan, who was the guy who was, eyewitness, that's the man, stated that he had actually confessed to them. These 3 guys don't know each other, but they were locked up with Mr. Jordan at 3 separate times. Yep. These guys gave a confession, never got a reduction in sentence, or any light was made of the information that they had shared. Amazing, right? Now, and he talked about or bragged about framing Jones for the murder as well. So now that was that. Boom, move that to the side. Let's start talking about the racial bias. The guy that he's accused of killing, Mr. Howell, he was a white man killed in a predominantly white neighborhood. The police officer that actually arrested Mr. Jones called him a nigger and dared him to run because he wanted to shoot him. Man, amazing, right? Welcome to America again. And then 11 of the 12 jurors were, guess what? White. One of the jurors even called Mr. Jones a nigger. Man, amazing. And they still found him guilty. So, I mean, the craziest part, or just the icing on the cake for me when I looked at everything and researched it, was just this. The attorney, the district attorney, his last name is Macy. He's from Oklahoma. His death convictions for the black rate has been high. However, what's been going on is they've been overturning them. So far, 10 now to date have been exonerated and freed of having their life taken away from them. And we're fighting right now to see if we can get Julius Jones to be the 11th one. That was some of the information that I came across when I knew nothing about this as we first began this conversation, which blew me away. But when I thought about America and what we live in, is it really so uncommon? It's sickening, but us as black men, I know that they say you're innocent until proven guilty, but it almost seems like we're guilty until we can prove ourselves innocent, which is a very harder road to go. But I digress. That's what I came up with. I don't know if you guys had gotten a chance to read into it at all. I know Chris, you were amening me on some things, so I was on point a little bit.
Yeah, you had some fallacies in there. He didn't play for the Cowboys. He got arrested at 19, so you're not even in the NFL at that time.
I researched it. He played for the Cowboys and the Seahawks before
at night.
Yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, well, a lot of things you said. Yeah, I researched doing my research. I seen that also. That prosecutor, I think they called him Cowboy Joe. He really, really railroaded a lot of guys. He's dead now. He had he was found guilty of tampering with evidence and things like that. That what led to the things being overturned and a lot of the prisoners getting out. But we starting to see this a lot more often, man. Y'all heard that story about the rich white man that was sentenced to death, wrongfully accused? I heard about that one. No, me neither. What about the Asian man that it happened to? He was wrongfully accused and on death row. You ain't heard about that one? Me neither.
I think they hit it.
Me neither. The point I'm trying to make is this happened to a specific sector of people. Generally, it happens to a specific sector of people. Now, I believe that it's racially motivated, but I also think that it has something to do with our justice system. Our justice system, Julius Jones is in jail right now because of his economic status. His prosecution, I mean, his attorney was trash. They didn't research. They didn't have the money to investigate, and that happens to a lot of us, man. A lot of guys in jail or facing death sentences because they don't have sufficient legal representation, and that's an economic system, just like the economic problem, just like the bail system and all that, man. I just think that racism, economics play a huge part in this, man, and I think that it's sad that we got to continue to go through this, but I hope that all the work that's done on the side can get this man free, and especially like you said, man, he doesn't even fit the description. They said that the man had hair coming out of the hat. This man was shaved had a low cut at the same time, man. It's just and the guy confessed to it, so it's heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, I want to just make sure. I just want to say this before we leave. He played for the Oklahoma Cowboys. He was a freshman in university. So that's the Cowboys he played for. They say Cowboys, but that's what he played for. He was a freshman in Oklahoma when he got arrested. So
Makes sense.
I just wanted to make sure that they get out here.
I got a question. I want to make a quick highlight, and this is something I learned years ago. It's an ugly story. It's ugly truth. When you realize that even the prison system is a part of the stock market, is big business. So a lot of times, I learned 10 years ago when we had our governor in Florida get sued by a private prison agency because the governor promised them that he would keep all prisons at 80% capacity. That way they can actually make a profit. And when for a couple of years, like we weren't going to jail, they were suing the state of Florida for failing. And all of a sudden you start seeing a lot of people going to jail with some more bogus cases and getting sentences. The sad part of that is a lot of us have been unfairly targeted with iffy sentences for free labor. And a lot of times, and we have had this happen over and over, somebody that should be free, but the reality is, even with all the evidence, usually they will still execute that person. You know why? Because if they do exonerate them, now I got to pay them money, sometimes millions, for the time that we stole away from this person. So to lead off on that, I always tell y'all, in America, there's no justice. It's just us. Go ahead, Zay.
That's an excellent point.
Colin Powell.
Yeah, no, I was going to tell you, Colin Powell. So this morning we got news that Colin Powell did leave us. Rest in power, Colin Powell, some would say rest somewhere else. Colin Powell was the first African-American. Yeah. Secretary of State. Yeah, it's left the opinion, man, but I'm just telling you. That's how they see him.
Put their comments up. You ain't going to disrespect my colon, man.
Hey, man, might need to get your colon cleansed. Check the back. You got to check the
So
background now. Now, Colin is the first
false.
African American Secretary of State, also the Joint Chiefs of Staff for the United States under George W. Bush. He came into play and into power and stayed his reign for 40 decades. So, for that, kudos to him for his accolades as a black man and the things that he's done. Now, he died, which is ironic because the way that they're pushing the COVID-19 vaccination upon people, this guy was fully vaccinated and still perished. So for the individuals who are non-vaxxers who just haven't gotten the feeling inside of them where they want to go forward, where they're not comfortable enough, this doesn't make it any better. But you have government officials saying what they say as far as vaccinations and saving lives, but we don't see where it actually is. But I just want to say rest in peace, Colin Powell. He's of Jamaican descent. So you already know Colin Powell is all through my house and my family. They revere him, they regard him for his accomplishments and achievements in the United States. But man, rest in peace. Lost an iconic figure. What do you got for him, Horace? Because I see that was your Colin.
That's my guy. Listen, there's no secret that when I got into politics, I was a raging black Republican. And Michael Steele and Colin Powell were two people that I actually talked to. I got a picture on Facebook of me and Colin Powell. And I thought, to be honest, that the media was disrespectful. Colin Powell died at 84 due to COVID complications, which was misleading, it's false, and it's still trying to push an agenda. We seen a video one of you guys shared this week saying how they're using COVID. Like if you had COVID at all before and you died from something else, it's still going to be listed as a COVID death. And I'm getting pissed of that because I felt like you insulted this man's legacy. As much as they go after our black officials, for you to have someone that was respected by all presidents, someone who was an advisor, even Trump, to all. Colin Powell was somebody that was classy, who identified with people. For white America to even ask this man to run for president says a lot about his character. He's survived by his wife, Alma, who was a Fisk University alumni. For him to be the 65th Secretary of State, like that's huge. People don't know after the VP, if something was to happen to them two, Secretary of State steps in as the president. So the honest part about it, he was 84 and he was battling cancer. And I forgot the form of cancer that he was battling, but in that shape, you're in a
multiple
myeloma, yeah, something like that. So you're in a weakened state, and he's 84 years old. But I just felt like I was insulted by that. But I will say for Chris, he had a lot of wise, and I don't even have to think, but he had a thing where he was known for the 13 rules of leadership. And if you Google that, he has some sayings that people repeated and he was famous for. I know one of them was simple. It was like, get mad, then get over it. But if you go and look at some of his stuff, I would definitely say that Colin was somebody that we could respect in government, whether you were Democrat or Republican. The brother actually stood on his own, especially during the Trump administration, where he said, I'm black, I'm not Republican or Democrat. So I respect him. So I just got to say that. Mario.
Hey man, Colin Powell, like, I think the biggest thing you got to say about this is when everybody say bipartisan, like everybody respect him. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I say everybody, I mean like on both sides of the table. They still revere him as one of the smartest black men to ever grace the White House. And I think that right there it get glossed over sometimes. But I think that's very, very record. You know what I'm saying? It should be noticed amongst everybody. But that you don't get a lot. That right there you don't get a lot. So I just want to say, whatever he was doing in the way he talked, in the way he was able to get into rooms and still grasp the floor and make people understand that even if we don't share the same views, that we all have the same agenda, and that's for America first. Then as a black man, I think, and like Zay said, Jamaican descent, man, that's crazy right there for the America that we know. We just got to talking about to respect him in such a high regard. So he definitely will be missed, and I think he will be missed so much because of what Horace said. Not to go on. when he first got into politics, he was able to have somebody that looked like him and he could go to and talk to who had a world of knowledge. And that right there, missing those years of knowledge, those decades of understanding and what he went through, to just go away like this before he can really sit down and start teaching on a higher level was like, hey man, it will be missed. And we needed that now more than any time.
Oh man. So like I said, rest in peace, Colin Powell. I wanted to bring to the forefront something that was very interesting, a story that came by for the Nike representative, Larry Miller.
Yeah, that's my boy, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you kind of go into depth with Larry because he's of the Nike Jordan brand, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a very high-ranking CEO and he's a black man. So we always like to get
he's actually the chairman of Jordan. So most of the information on the commercials, the marketing, and just the brand Jordan, like him choosing people and venturing out and then branching off from Nike into the whole brand of Jordan. If most people don't understand, like Jordan is their own brand. Like you got Nike, then you got Jordan, which is a subsidiary, but a very high one. He's the actual chairman of that. And lately he's coming out with a book right now, a memoir of how he went from the streets as a gangbanger as a youth and corrected his life and became the chairman of one of the biggest billion-dollar shoe brands in the world right now. And in that interview of telling about his memoir, he admitted that when he was a youth that he killed a rival gang member. And when you hear the interview, I haven't read the book or anything yet because he was just talking about it. But when you hear the interview, it was like, one of his friends that got shot when they were young, and all of them were drunk at the age of 13, between the age, like 13, he joined the gang. So like when they were 16, 17, 18, most of his friends around that time, one of his fellow gang members got shot and they were just looking for revenge. And they went out looking for revenge and couldn't find a suspect, but they found somebody on that side of town and then killed him. It was an 18-year-old boy. And I think he did time for it as a couple stints in prison. So they said in detention center and everything. He was a trouble youth. But then he cleaned his life up. He said he never lied about it. That's why I can't wait to read this because it's intrigued me because he said, I never lied about it, but I hid it from everybody so they didn't find it. And that was remarkable to me to think that a black man climbed the ladder to the top of $1 billion shoe company and nobody never brought this up. So whoever his team was that hid this is amazing. And those people right there should be commended because we got people getting on a death row right now for something that they know he didn't do. And this man did time for killing somebody and nobody never heard of this. This is amazing. But that's what I got so far, and I just wanted to bring that to the forefront because he has a memoir that's going to be coming out about redemption and how you can actually turn his life around and become something productive into the society. And I think that's worth reading and passing on to a lot of our youth right now that made bad mistakes and think their life is over. Did y'all guys hear anything about that?
Yeah. I heard something about. I have a unique perspective on this one. When I was attending Horace Mother Church, Bible Teachers International, I constantly heard them say this thing: "I'm not of this world." So they made a separation between the natural world and the spiritual world, and they would always say, "We are not of this world." I think that same concept applies here. When you decide to go into the gangster lifestyle, you're no longer a civilian. You live by a certain code. You live by something different. You know what I'm saying? When you're a civilian, you don't have to live by those same codes. And I know this may sound harsh, but when you choose that lifestyle, you take what comes with it. So when he goes to kill another rival gang member, that's the life that they accepted when they decided to be in gangs and things like that. So for him to come out with this now, I don't know. I don't know the purpose. I really don't know the purpose of it. These are things that you have to accept in that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You take this with you. You take this pain with you. I know a lot of the family members may hurt from losing their family members, but that's, again, your family member accepted a lifestyle that's unlike yours. They're not of this world. When you accept the gangster lifestyle, is something totally different, and death comes with that. Jail comes with that. So yeah, you can get upset and you can be sad, but that's what comes with that lifestyle. So I don't know if that man. I don't know if I salute. I guess I salute him for coming out with the truth or telling the truth. But at the same time, man, no, that's a part of the lifestyle he accepted. But that's just what I think. Zay, what you got?
I thought that it was remarkable. I mean, initially upon reading the story, seeing the headlines, and that's why you can't just go by the headlines. You got to actually read in depth. I was thinking, what a dummy. Why would you do that? Like, there's no statute of limitations on murder, right? And then as we read and we learned, okay, he had, got convicted, did some time. We're like, okay. So now it kind of hint. I went back to what Mario was saying. That's amazing. Adam Silver, you're friends with Adam Silver. They don't know Michael Jordan, and he doesn't know. Think of the money and the resources that these guys have for them not to find this information. When you or I try to get a simple job, they have a system called LexisNexis in which they run our background, and they can tell us everything from the time we got here. And he was able to obscure that, man. That's a feat to be told. But I think in his memoirs, that is going to serve as an inspirational piece, especially for individuals coming up, because it's some guys that may not have gone to the extent that he did, but think that their life's off track and unsolvable. And that's the perfect story for listen. If he can do it, so can I. So I too can't wait for the book to kind of read and learn a little bit more, because I'm intrigued. Like I said, off of the initial headline, I was dumbfounded. But then to learn the information that I learned, I'm like, okay, that's remarkable. Now I want to know. So I don't know. What do you think, Horace?
Well, when I first read it, I thought, okay, you got to be a dummy to confess something as a black man in this justice system. You know what I mean? Especially when we see that ain't no statute of limitations. Like they even revising that. But then when Mario told me the story about he served some time for it, then I was like, okay. Then I tried to figure out, well, is he doing it for like self-gratification, or is he trying to make a point? Like one of those redemption stories, like, hey, look what I did at this age, and look what I was able to achieve. Like, don't throw the kid away type thing. But me personally, I was confused, and I'm interested to see how people react to him now. Those same friends, how they act, because on that level, image is so. You got so many people in your ear, like, oh well, maybe you shouldn't be, associated with him, or hey, do you really know him, or hey, can you trust him? He murdered somebody. A lot of people on that higher level seem to be judgmental and a little fickle. So I'll be interested to see how it goes from him, and hopefully we don't see in 30 days where it is a mutual agreement where he's no longer in that role. So hopefully we get some good out of that story. But I damn sure I wouldn't confess to nothing. Me personally, that's gonna be me and the Lord. Maybe right before I close my eyes. But the way they locking Negroes up, boy, I ain't confessing to nothing.
Sound about right to me.
I take it to the grave. Take it to the grave.
I would have. I'm sorry.
You had a feat this weekend, man, that I think is worth talking about, man. It was share some light on that.
Well, it's not so much me having a feat. It was more of my sister, man. And I just want to say I'm super duper proud of her, man. She's had a pretty rough last year, but I just like to say I'm super proud of her. She went to North Carolina for an art exhibit. The photographer name is E. Mackey. Basically, what he did was he started documenting the Black Lives Matter protests. It started with the Ahmaud Arbery. And he just went documenting, photographing the protests in a lot of the major cities. And then he went from that, he went to photographing the victims of the police violence at these protests. And that's how he linked up with my sister. And then finally made an exhibit. It got picked up by the Harvey B. Grant Center. And I didn't get to personally go. My sister went this weekend. But the videos from it was amazing, man. The way this man captured that moment. I posted it on Instagram page, and all I could think about was Public Enemy Fight the Power. Like when I was watching it, man, and it was really, really compelling. He also has a book coming out called Lift Every Voice. I suggest you guys search him up on Instagram, check out that book. But I thought the exhibit was amazing, man. It tells the story of a lot of the victims, and a lot of it chronologizes a lot of the things that happened in these Black Lives Matter protests. And you remember that was just last year, so it's almost like we forget those things happen. But yeah, like I said, I want to say I'm super proud of my sister, man, for being able to go back and just see those pictures. Now, I know it's art now, but think about the memories that it brings back to her. You know what I'm saying? And I still get shaken up by seeing the one picture with the bandage and the eye, man, because it takes me back to when it happened, man. I felt so helpless. You know what I'm saying? You know how it's your sister. If something happened to her, you just want to go beat up whoever it is, but you're fighting the whole system, the whole police force, the whole mindset of people, and it made me feel defenseless for her, and that was a really, really tough feeling. But it's not about me; it's about her. And just like I said, I want to say I'm super proud of her. But if you get a chance, check out that exhibit. It was in North Carolina. I don't know where it's going to pop up the next time. I look forward to going myself. But yeah, E. Mackey on Facebook. Yeah, check it out.
Chris, I must say, I seen the story shared, right? And we shared it on the Black Super Friends. I believe that picture is going to be iconic. I haven't seen a picture in a while that you can identify with. Like, so I don't know, shout out to the photographer, but shout out to your sister for having that courage, man. That picture just has depth to it. And there's certain pictures where you can see and you can feel it. I feel it. So I think that picture is going to end up being iconic because when I see it, it always makes me feel a way.
I definitely was going to say shout out to Toya for the bravery of that, because I know what she endured and your family as well during that time. But for her to okay it, for them to use that as a beacon or a symbol of hope that instill, we'll still rise and we're going to still be here and peacefully protest or use our amendment rights in an effective way. You can't stop us is what I seen from that. So, Toy, I want to let you know that I'm proud as your brother, proud as another big brother of yours could be, because like I said, that takes bravery. Some people will shy away from that because, it's not your normal beautiful face. But you know what? That pain is I don't know how to even put that. That pain is the investment that you have into what you actually believe in. And man, the initial picture, it just brings me back to that day when I saw that initial picture. Like, we all hurt. Like, we protect her. We make sure she gets home. Nobody bothers her. And for that to happen, like, damn, like you said, Chris, it does make us feel helpless. Like, we can't even protect our own. But how can we against a system like that that's set up for us to lose? So, Toya, shout out. I hope it does go down in the history books, and I hope it does become an iconic picture, something that you can proudly display later on and talk about how you were there in all your efforts on the front line for people. What about you, Hardy?
I know I'm proud of Toya and everything she did, and the mural is amazing. Like, from me looking at them pictures and how he captured it, and just knowing, that wasn't that long ago, but to see that will be etched in, because just like we see Martin Luther King having his speech, and then Malcolm X, those are pictures that we see from the 60s and the 50s when they talk about this kind of stuff like this, because this time will be talked about. You know what I'm saying? And then that picture right there and that whole tribute he had, not little, but that tribute he had was amazing. I'm talking about that's really art that he took and made to a moment. I think that's amazing. I just, but I think I was mixed feelings about it, because just knowing that, knowing that that's Chris' little sister and knowing Toya, it's still kind of like, man, like she really went through that. You know what I'm saying? Just to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not good for the women, but it's still like, damn, that's really like she was really out there knowing she don't hurt a fly. She was out trying to protest, just let her mouth, her just say what she feel. And that happened to her. to the point of it's just ridiculous, man. This situation and this state we live in, this country we live in, it's still ridiculous to me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm glad what brother did, it's just still a ridiculous situation that she had to go. Her and many people had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? With really no justice, because it still was no justice out of it. You know what I'm saying? We taking lemons and making lemonade, but that really was still no justice in that situation.
I don't know, Hardy. I want to say something that we keep overlooking. Sometimes, man, as we grow, things start to activate inside us that we don't even know was inside of us. Let's not forget one of my favorite civil rights leader was Fannie Lou, and that's the same blood that Christum have. So maybe that's that next generation continuing to fight. So never overlook that either.
Shout out to Fannie Lou Hamer, my grandmother's sister.
And please go watch.
I hope to tell you the last one, because I hope nobody else in your family go through that. That's
watch some of her old videos and clips, man. You would be amazed. That was probably the realest. We always applaud all those other people, but I don't think you have never met anyone like Chris, grandmother's sister. Like, she was real, fearless. So,
Mississippi.
Bro, go watch the video. I swear to God, y'all will be in there like, boy. So, listen, do I take the reins back for the viewer questions, eh?
Do you think?
I don't remember. Hey, so we had a viewer question that came in, and the person will remain nameless, but we take on all kind of challenges and questions, to be fair. And the question was worded as so: why men single why single men claim to have their SHIT together but never have a place to stay?
Zay. I'm gonna go with that. Man, so why men that are single claim to have their sugar, honey, and iced tea together, but never have a place to stay? I think that's an incorrect statement. They got to stay somewhere. They're not homeless. They just may not have anywhere for you to come. And that's probably what the question should have been. But they definitely got somewhere to stay. But you should ask yourself the question of, if he's saying that he has his sugar, honey, and iced tea together, and he doesn't have anywhere to stay, why are you talking to him? But that's a question for another segment. I don't know, Chris. What do you think?
Let me hear what Horace got to say first. He normally have he the one accepted this question. Now I got beef with that, but I want to hear what he got to say.
I think I'm gonna have something to say once we have more conversation on it, because I took the question and I knew there was gonna be a trigger for Chris.
You goddamn right. Sorry ass, hating ass, goddamn bitter ass, penis phobic ass woman give this goddamn question. What do you mean never? All the single men that say they got their shit together never have the place to stay. How are you meeting all these men that got their shit together, but they never have a place to stay? I'm pretty sure this is one of them bougie ass women that feel like she got her shit together. So what did he meet you at? Did you go to a club where niggas don't have their shit together? Was you shot? Do he live in the same neighborhood as you that don't have that, of people that got their shit together, that got homes? How did you find out that he have his shit together? Was it after he nutted on you or in you? Well, how did this even happen? Like this is the most hating ass question in the world, man. This is a lie. Most of the guys that, first of all, men that have their ship together don't have to walk around saying they got their shit together. But the men that do have their shit together, that don't want to take you on one or two dates before they offer you back to their house. That's what we do. When men that have places, they offer you to come to their place. So if you was intertwined with this man, he never offered you to come back to his place, man, please, you just a hating. You're penis phobic. That's what you is. You're penis phobic. If everybody else can make up phobias, I'll make up one. You're penis phobic.
Mario.
Well, Mr. Hardy.
Well. Can you repeat the question again? Because Chris just, I think the audience, I think the audience.
I forfeited my whole answer. I was like, here we go with Chris. The trigger.
I think the answer.
My
I
damn
think Chris kind of blew the audience away. Can you repeat
No, I
the
think
question
you
one more time, Horace?
Why single men claim to have their S together but never have a place to stay?
That's a.
Amazing.
I think we got to understand what do we call shit together? Really?
Wait a minute. Well, let me ask the follow-up question for you, Hardy. Well, as men, what do you consider having your shit together?
Right, and I think that's what it is because I think that the way she worded that was I could see why Chris had ruffled his feathers because that definitely was wrongly worded because you can't say all of nothing and most of, and then I agree when you say that kind of words right there and group a whole genre of men into one thing, that's crazy right there because that it show that you talking to those kind of men. Because I know a group of men who got their shit together, and I think anybody when they run their resume will say they got their shit together, and they single men. So I think what I consider shit together is I think that it's really to the eye of the beholder because right now when I might say I got my shit together, you might look at me and say Mario ain't got your shit together. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you got to be self-sufficient. To me, just to not beat around the bush, if a man is totally self-sufficient, me and Chris talked about this a lot, and there's certain steps in a man's life. I feel like as a man that you have to be able to say I can take care of myself solely, like not have the ability to take care of nobody else. I'm just saying myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I could take care of you or add to your life, that's a plus. But I think if you could take care of yourself, I think as a man in this society, you could say you got your shit together. That means you can pay your own. I don't think you got to have a house. You can have an apartment, but you got to be able to pay it. You can have your own car. You don't have to be. You can be paying payments, or it could be an '87 Buick. But you got to have your own. You got to be able to not have to call nobody else and can fend for yourself. Whether it's working 2 jobs, owning your own business, working for somebody else, you have to be able to be totally self-sufficient. If you're totally self-sufficient as a man, I believe that you have your shit together because every level is somebody who can meet you there and y'all can grow together. So, it's always somebody richer looking down saying you ain't shit. So I think that's really that's just the way the world is. So that's what I would think, Horace.
Zay. Well, let's run it back. Zay.
Well,
You want me to
no,
read the question off?
no, you good. I was thinking about that, and Hart is correct because I was thinking of the same thing. It depends on who you're asking. I know individuals who have their stuff quote unquote. Let me start from the beginning. I'll tell you this: most people think of having your shit together as being materialistic and things that they can tangibly touch as having your ish together. But I also know individuals who quote unquote have it together but don't. So for me, having it together is going to be mind, body, soul. You need to have a presence of mind, have it together. Here, be realistic, because a lot of people are living in fantasy world out here in this real world and trying to date or build something with somebody off of fictitious goals like that. That ain't real. That's fairy tale land that you're in. Healthy wise, having your ish together. In order for you to have it together, nigga, you need to be here. If you're unhealthy, if you're, not taking care of yourself, your body, your hygiene, you definitely don't have it together. Last but not least, your spirit, whatever it is that you align with, have you something that you can use as your guidance tool, beacon, whatever the case may be, as you go on throughout your life. All of the material things are tangible. You can get. All of us on here get money, self-sustain. I don't call you for anything. You don't call me for anything. We may call each other for a positive word or another point of view on something that we're gonna do, but none of us don't call each other asking for money. We don't call each other asking for nowhere to stay unless we out of town and we crash by each other's spot. But that's okay, because guess what? We all have our ish together where you could do that or provide some way that you can help out. So I think that it depends on who that person is and what they're actually looking for when they define having ish together. Because again, all of us, I think, are our own entity. We stand up, we do our own thing. We don't lean on anyone else to make sure that we can get from point A to point B. And that's being self-sufficient, like Hardy said. That's having your stuff together. Can we work and get better? Everyone can. So let's not be judgmental, people. What you say, Horace?
I was going to say that whether it's everybody has different definitions, and from where you come from is going to shape your perspective. So whether you're a man or a woman, I always say look at how somebody grew up, and because sometimes it will show you why they will impact why they think like they do, or it'll show you why they see things the way they do. And not to go deep, but you have different people. Like if I grew up rough and my early childhood was full of trauma and struggle, me getting to a point where, hell, I'm sufficient, maybe a job, having mental health or being in good health, that may be to me having my S together. Everyone has their own definition. I think that's what shapes our blueprints in life. I think where it gets tricky is when we try to live up to other people's definitions
Expectations.
of what having it together. So for somebody who grew up homeless or somebody who grew up in around substance abuse, having a home with some peace that don't have no trauma and chaos might be where you feel like, hey, I got my stuff together. I'm not where I was before. And I think every generation has obstacles to overcome. Now, when I go back to the original question, it was about why some men have this never had a place to stay.
Man shaming.
Agreed.
But I'm gonna be the man hater. I'm gonna be accused of woman hating on this. It keeps going back to I feel like women lacking responsibility for their actions. Like y'all make these choices. You want to make this Russell Wilson looking dude all the thing, then he don't meet your expectations because you really didn't did because you really want this. Listen, most guys are going to be doing what they want to do with themselves. Whether you either accept it or you don't. But most times we are going to put ourselves in a position where we're comfortable with where we are in life, not where somebody else feels like we should be. So, Chris.
Well, I say it like this. I think that I want to pick it back off of what Zay said. I think it's a mindset is what having your shit together means. It starts with a mindset because once a man decides what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, and the way you got to execute it, that's when you have your shit together. Because it's not about material things. If you really do your research, there's people that started going back to the original question. There's people that started out homeless. Tyler Perry started out homeless. Not started out, but at the point of his life was homeless. At the point of Steve Harvey's life was homeless. He was homeless. Halle Berry, Tiffany Haddish, Steve Jobs. They at a point in their life they was homeless. So if you met that person at that point of their life and you're looking down on them, these are future millionaires, billionaires. So to think that it's just about material things is not. It's about a mindset, because once you change the mindset, the material things is a product of that mindset. So what I would tell guys is having your shit together is simply changing your environment, changing the people that brings you down, changing the mindset of I'm not going to work, or I'm going to take the easy way out, or I'm not going to be consistent. I'm going to sit here and watch TV all day or play video games or just do bullshit, like stuff like that. Once a man changes mindset, the material things is going to come. But as far as a woman caring about whether you have some place to stay, shit, I'd have to sleep in my car some nights. That's a part of the determination. That's a part of the road. Everybody don't have it as good as everybody else. That has nothing to do with that character of that man. And for her to be saying single men that say that they got their shit together never have a place, like, how you attract who you are. You are the equivalent of a man that does not have his place. You may have your place, but you are equivalent of that bum that you think he is. You the same one, because you keep on attracting that man.
But did you think you had your shit together when you was sleeping on your friend couch?
Do I think I had my shit? No, because I didn't have the mindset. But once I changed the mindset, then yes, I think I had my shit together. But when I was sleeping on my
right, you think you? I'm just asking. You think? Cause I never. Let me speak for me. Until I became self-sufficient, I didn't think I had my shit together. Like right now, When I stay in Orlando and I was rooming with you, I didn't have my shit together. When I was staying with my other dog and I ain't had no, and I couldn't pay the whore, I ain't have my shit together. I'm just saying me. I didn't feel like because that's the question is not are you a good person? Not will you have your shit together? Not can you possibly get your shit together? Not is your mind right to have your shit together, but do you have your shit together? I don't think I had my shit like right now. Having a house didn't make me have my shit together. I think when I had my apartment, my 2001 Acura, like I'm talking not where I'm at now. I think at that point in my life, I had my shit together. I was saying now I could have got better, like Zay might say, I could get better, but I felt like as a man, I'm at the okay. Now let's go, let's build from here. But before that, I think I was trying to get my shit together. That's just
well, by that definition, I don't believe I have my shit together now. What I believe that I have, when I believe that I had my shit together, is when I decided that, oh, I'm not finna waste no more time rapping. I'm not finna waste no more time selling drugs. I'm gonna put my mind and focus on being a better father, keep holding down income, just completely changing my life. So by that definition, no, I wouldn't say that now because there's so many other things that I want to accomplish that would make me truly feel like I can have my shit together. But that's why I say it's more of a mindset. Like this is what I'm going to do, and nothing's going to stop me. That's what I got.
Well, I'm asking you something. This has always been my flag on the play. I believe, me personally, that whether if you got your shit together or not, if you're in a place where you know dating or pursuing somebody that's gonna have you compromise or take away from your day to day, I don't think you should be dating. That's me. I don't think you should be dating. That should be the last thing in your mind. I'm pretty sure if you get some occasional box dropped on your lap, have at it.
Take that.
Have at it. But I'm saying, ain't no way. Most dudes that I know, they ain't thinking about no box. Well, we do know some, but you ain't thinking about no box if you ain't comfortable with yourself or you know that I'm on the couch or I know I ain't where I need to be. Everybody has a gauge for themselves inside them, but like this is where I should be. And but I will say this on the other end to that female: if you meet a dude and he ain't where you per se want him to be, why you stay there?
Yeah,
how do you get you?
I always say the CEO. This, you know how they get you, Chris. You know Mario says it, and Horace says it a lot. I think Horace says it more than Mario does. But you know they look what you said, shallow. They look at the exterior. Ooh, that's a nice looking man. He's built right or whatever. And I can see myself with him, but you don't know what's going on inside of that man. You didn't stop. You know, all this stuff this fluff that women say, oh, I wish he would stop and talk to me. They don't even take that junk seriously because they don't. Once they see something and they like it physically, they're at it. But you don't know what type of turmoil or hell is going on inside of that man. You know, to say have his S together. That's why I made the mention of you meet dudes that have cars and the jewelry and the money, and they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They just hit a hot streak. But you'll meet a chick who's a fan going, oh, hot dog got his stuff together. A hot dog don't know where his next meal coming from. He just know that he hot right now. But when it's all over, he doesn't have a plan. Therefore, once that wave runs out, then he becomes a has-been, and then he becomes talked about it. Well, he did have his stuff going together. I don't know what happened. He fell off. He never had it together to begin with, if you ask me. But
for me,
I digress. Go ahead.
I know it's a movie, but one of my favorite movies was Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, but it was based on a true story. I believe that man had his shit together because his mind was determined on doing what he needed to do. And in that movie, he was homeless. He was having to carry his son around, sleeping in elevators and things like that. I believe it, but his determination and his mindset was what I believe made him have his shit together and not be able to be deterred from other bullshit and persevere and keep on going. That's one of the few movies that the ducts in the AC start to clog up my eyes and stuff like that, and onions start to be cut and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I think that it's more of a mindset than the physical, tangible things.
It was God's timing what you watched, Chris, because like you said, he was doing the work that it took, but God said, not yet, my son, until God said it was his time, and then bam, it came together for him.
So it's not the process of getting your shit together? So it's not the process of getting your shit together then? It has to be a process.
It can't, I believe.
Because if I think it, That's what I'm saying. Like, so then what's the process of getting your shit together then?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Me,
That's the thing, though, hard.
Describing to me.
That's the thing, though, hard. I feel like, I mean, I done had a series of beat up cars. At no point in time, I felt like I had my shit together because I just had a car.
That's my point. So if you never felt like you had your shit together, that's what it means. That's what I'm saying. Like, and maybe that's what I'm wrong. That's what I say. When you feel like I can say whatever I want to. I'm saying I know at some point in my life I felt this way. Like it ain't like my shit went together when I decided to start getting my shit together. And then I got on that path. Then I got to a point in that path where I said, hey, bro, now I feel like a man. I really can take care of myself. Like I didn't have to bullshit. It don't matter what nobody else said, nobody else leaned. I knew right now, if I don't call nobody and don't pick up my phone, I can totally take care of myself. I felt like my shit was together. Now the world might have said, Mario, you ain't got no house. Mario, you're cold. But I knew this. I can wake up in the morning and then do the shit thing. That's when I knew how my shit was together. Now, my mind was made up 2 years before that to get my shit together. So I got on the road to getting my shit together. That's what I believe. I love that movie you talked about. And I believe Will Smith was on the road and pressing with his kid to get his shit together. That's what I think. Then I believe we seen him get his shit together and obtain what he wanted. Because it has to be a level of getting your shit together and shit together. It can't just be, I decided to get my shit together, not my shit together. Yeah. Now, I don't believe if that's the case, then it's no process of getting your shit together.
Can I say something? Now that we're talking about this, despite how it looked from the outside, I think this is the first time that I will feel 100% secure saying I have my shit together. And I've had some decent moments in life, but this is probably the first time I can say I got my shit together where I don't have to worry. Like when we was over on 34, I was doing okay, had a good job and all that, but I didn't feel like I had my shit together. And some people might feel like I did. So I guess it goes back to what you feel as well. Because listen, I might have been working, but I feel like I was still a check away from goddamn dancing again or something. You know what I mean?
It's 100% that hard.
But you have a mental breakdown every other weekend.
Who?
You.
No, I don't.
You can shit together, but you have a mental conundrum every other weekend.
No, I don't.
Right, because
that's the fear of success. Chris, that's what that's called.
Chris got the fear of success.
No, it's a fear of not having your shit together. That's my point. That's why. So if you have a fear of not having your shit together, your mindset ain't changed, but your pockets will. So that's why having your shit together have to have a dollar amount. It has to have a tangible amount. Because that's the case. I know broke people who are some of the most positive motherfuckers in the world, and I don't think they got their shit together. I'm just me, and maybe I'm looking at it too shallow. I don't think the motherfucker up under the bridge with a beautiful mind have his shit together.
Bro, if I lose everything next week, guess what? I ain't gonna get nothing but prayers. Hey, I can't. Where I'm going? Who I'm gonna go to against all?
So then, that's what I'm saying. So then your mind state don't change. So then what? Is your shit still together?
No, your shit gonna be going apart at that point. You gonna be the man apart.
No, it can't be because you said when you say your mind is together and you determined to do better. Like I agree with the analogy that Chris said. I believe that's when you start getting your shit together. When you start playing, when you start understanding life that you have to mature, you have to have sacrifice, you have to have dedication. That's the beginning steps to the process of getting your shit together. When you become a man and put childish things away, that's the steps in towards getting your shit together. Then you're gonna get to a level. But the beginning of getting your shit together, the bare minimum is I can take care of myself. Well, Horace, now you done got a house, you got a new truck. That's another level of that. I'm saying what Chris was saying. Me and Chris have been in places together when both of us didn't know what nothing was coming from and all that kind of shit. We was figuring it out. We ain't have our shit together. Right now, Chris, right now, where he at right now, he can wake up in the morning and take care of his fucking self wholeheartedly. So from then you want to expound on that and get better, but you have your shit together. That's what I think that girl like right now. It's a lot of dudes out here who be saying, "Yeah, nigga, I'm a cat." Bro, you don't have. See, I like to be realistic with my fellas because iron sharper iron. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was the shit when I wasn't shit. And that
But you
held me
gotta be
back a
like
lot
that.
in life. That held me back a lot in life. Because people said, oh, you look this, and I was charismatic and all that shit, but I really didn't have shit. But in my mind, bro, when I woke up and said, bro, hold up, I got to get my shit together. That's when I began to get my shit together. I didn't have my shit together that day I decided that, though. That's all I'm saying. That day that I woke up and said, bro, I got to get my shit together. I ain't have my shit together. I ain't have shit. So then I had to say, hold up, let me get my credit together. Let me get this. Because that's what Chris, I hear you all the time say, before I got to get my shit. I got to get this more stuff as a man. I got to get. Because you got to feel like your shit together. Then you feel like I could bring somebody else into my life. And then, but right now, I've been there. I'm working on me.
Yeah.
So before I can even talk to any woman, anything else, I got to work on me. I got to be totally set. And I said, bro, I feel you. And when you said it to me, I told you, you have to do that. Because I don't, because if you get with a woman before that, you're going to feel inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that. I have been with women who had their shit together and I didn't, and they was trying to help me, but it wasn't the same. Because you don't feel like you pulling your weight. Like I can. It's a difference when you know that I can take care of myself 100%. You can take care of your 100%. Now you might have more money, but I'm saying we both self-sufficient, and we get together. It's like shit. Okay, now let's build. That's a different thing. That's why I didn't think that.
Okay.
All right. We bringing Ira Shields. You in the comment? We're bringing Ira Shields back on in a week or two. Ira, I want to talk to you about Chris, who triggers me on air. We need you once again. All right. He's been angry.
What did I say?
Call him the Hulk. He's bringing stuff on air, and it's like it's just we really want to keep ironing, getting sharper
Absolutely.
and sharper. Ivory, please. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm getting pissed.
Watch your mouth, man. Hey, are we gonna do the last question, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
We fold.
Speed round it. Let's do it.
I don't do nothing quick, Zay.
Oh man, that's not what I heard.
Okay, you got one coming. Listen.
That's what she said.
Oh man. God dang it. The hookers do give you free work. Hey, listen, this is a serious question, man, but it's going to be the speed round. And I'm really going to pull. Dang, I can't say that. Listen, I'm going to go and ask you guys to be sincere on this one. And because Chris has given me trouble tonight, I'm going to switch the order. What's the best thing that I learned from a woman? And I am going to go in the order of Mario, Chris, me and Zay. Mario, Chris, you're on deck too.
The first thing I learned is no matter what they tell you, you got to be a man for yourself. Like one thing for sure that every woman is no group of this how women think. Every woman think different. Every woman have their point of view. So if you go off of what a woman tell you a man gonna be, or what a woman tell you a man should do, or what a woman think you should do, then you're gonna be a lost soul. You got to gather yourself together. You got to seek refuge. And then right now we lost for mentorship. So you got to gather mentorship from older brothers, not older women, not sisters, like from older brothers, because iron sharpen iron. So one thing I learned from women, that's the biggest thing. And my mom always used to tell me, I can't teach you how to be a man. And that's true. Like she cannot. So no matter how much she nurture you, you got to go learn how to be a man. And I think that you should seek it out from other men. So I learned that from a woman, that a woman can't tell me or teach me or mold me how to be a man because they don't know.
The unreasonable man.
Well, what I've learned from a woman is the right woman can make you a millionaire. I absolutely believe this because I've seen it. I've seen women make men millionaire. Now, they was originally a billionaire before they met her, but that's neither here nor there. What I will say is this. What I learned from women is having this ability to feel as though whatever position that I'm in, I deserve the greatest, something great. I done seen women in terrible position and still want the greatest man. the greatest job. And yes, it's a sense of entitlement, but that belief if you can harness that belief, the power of that belief in the right way, you can probably manifest that. So I get on women about that, but I think that is something that you need. This belief that I deserve the best. I deserve more than what I am. Yes, I grew up in this area, but I deserve to be in the Trump Towers or whatever. But that's what I think I've learned from women. Just this whole belief of no matter where I am, no matter what position I am in my life, no matter what I've done in my past, I still deserve great. So that's what I think.
Well, listen, you know what? You had a quote one time that women struggle with accountability, men struggle with responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What I learned from a woman is going back to my grandmas, those old women, those old ladies in the family. I learned two things from them: responsibility and the importance of one person. Why is that important? Those women, when our uncles and granddaddies was out there cutting the food and doing whatever they was doing, that one woman kept the family together. And despite her own personal heartbreak and things she had to endure, those mamas and grandmas put everything on their back and made sure that that family stayed intact and made sure things got done, no matter what was going on elsewhere outside. So I learned that sometimes it ain't fair, but knowing sometimes you're gonna carry a lot on your back for the sake of other generations. And I learned that. I learned that from Josephine. I learned that from my great grandmother. And I wish women understood how important you are to the world, how vital you are to the Black family. But I have learned that the importance of being that one person, just like when me and Chris talks about his life, like Chris is important to his next generation. Despite whatever he went through before, he has stood in the gap to make sure the next generation is not going to incur the things that he might have faced. With Zay, like we actually have to understand that it might suck, like Chris tells me all the time, being a big brother is a sucky job. But think about how many people benefit from your suffering and you standing tall in those moments. So I learned responsibility and the importance of one person. Think about somebody who sacrificed to make sure your life is better.
Yeah.
Zay,
Yeah.
Horace, that definitely sucks. That big brother. I'm not even a big brother, even though I'm regarded as such a big brother,
big brother
big uncle,
suck
big
a
cousin,
lot.
and it does because it's a lot of pressure on you. I think if I look back at life and I look at what's the one or the best thing that a woman has taught me or that I've learned from them, it's compassion because men don't teach that. You understand what I'm saying? And when you are teaching, when you are that would say that bridge to the next generation, you got to be compassionate because so badly you want for them to get it, and it's just not time yet, and you still have to deal with them with a level of understanding and still be persevere inside of that to get that lesson across. So like you were saying, Horace, where for you it was the matriarch in your family, even though she may have ran into heartbreaks or and things of that nature, she still stood strong in the face of adversity to keep that family together. I learned that because in my household it was me and my mom most of the time, so she was very compassionate. She always seen the best side of everyone, even the people that weren't worth a damn. And I lose my mind at it now as a grown man when she tells me about things that she sees others doing that she wished that they wouldn't do. And I want to know why she cares so much. But then I also looked at myself, and I'm one of those people that be caring about things like that. Mario talked to me about it all the time. I'm like, damn, you know what? That's where I picked that lesson up from. But I also understand that there is a balance in that has to go. So inside of that lesson of being learned from a woman, I also learned that a man is necessary in the dynamic of a household, especially a Black household, because we're already started off 2 steps behind or a step behind. I think Richard Pryor, the great Richard Pryor, said, you got to stay 2 steps ahead because they're going to try to put you one back. So we already start off behind the 8 ball. without there being a father figure, the best thing I learned from a woman is that a man is needed. But then, like I said, the second lesson that I learned from them was compassion. Try to be as deal with everything with integrity and transparency, and just have compassion for others for where they are in life. You know, hope for the best, expect the worst, and you know if they like it, you gotta love it. That's what I learned from a woman. Best lesson too.
All right. And in roundabouts, guess what, guys? You guys have successfully completed another show. I thank you for your vulnerability. I know sometimes it is not wanted. So when I have to go and tap into Chris, I'm making Chris go from hope to, I can't say Tevin Campbell. That would be a bad example.
Please don't use an alternative lifestyle.
I can't even think of anybody like this. You know what I mean? From Hope to Drake, you know what I mean? So, listen, everybody, we thank you for joining us on another week of the Black Super Friends Monday Night Raw. I ask that you guys please submit a video question or give us some topics. Next week, we're gonna have a different show because those guys on that side are going international, so they would not be here unless they purchase internet access. So next week's show should be interesting and scary at the same time. It will be me and the unreasonable man.
He gonna have
he gonna attack you again.
It's gonna be late this night, man. We ain't gonna have a number of women on this thing.
He gonna attack you again too. You better bring your armor.
We have the latest night next Monday.
Y'all can't have latest night without me. What you mean?
We bring them through. We bring them through there. You know what I'm saying?
We might have to show up and show our illustrious surroundings. Because we listen, let me tell you something. We believe in working hard, but we believe in vacation. Okay? We finna unplug. But we'll plug in for y'all.
Let's see what Tiana Trump doing next Monday.
Hey, Lou said she deserve David Banner. You deserve Bruce Banner. when he's scared to become the Hulk.
Listen, close the comments. Let's go to the person who is riding a winning streak that he's never rode before, Mr. Hardy.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all, man. 2006, we were 14-2. I appreciate y'all. 2016. I appreciate y'all coming by to the Black Super Friends and stopping by, having your comments and tuning in, man. Without us, there's no you. You wouldn't be having nothing to do on Monday nights if we didn't come. So how about you keep us coming?
Yep.
Paul.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. Keep it coming.
And share the page, man. Share the page. We always say that, man. Now I say like I'm one of the water boys in Atlanta begging for $1, but we need y'all to share the page, man. Because if you share the page, we can increase our wage. So we're gonna keep y'all coming back with all our facts. So share the page, man. Just share the page. Thank you.
Well,
latest man,
talk to him, brother. I always say tag a friend and let them in. Share our page, as my brother said. You know, we appreciate y'all coming in. We realize it's Monday Night Football. The guys that came through, we appreciate y'all. We want y'all to become more vocal because the women are giving us hell, guys. Share the page. Don't just tell us when you see us out in public or in our inbox, man. You know, we're men. We speak up. Speak up. Say something. Come through with a topic that we can discuss. It may be something that women do that irks you, because they definitely come through and tell us about what we do that irks them, and we have to talk on it and defend you guys. Y'all, you know, y'all big us up and y'all tell us thank you for our words and everything like that, but they want to hear from y'all. So I'm gonna encourage you to share the page with some guys who may speak up, or just tag them in comments, because you know that they've been having some issues in the area that we're discussing at that time. I'm also going to thank every last woman that give up a comment or a topic idea. Because, again, like my man Mario said, without us, it won't be no you. What would you do on Monday nights without us? Mm-hmm. We love you just as much as you love us.
Thank you, Ms. Williamson, for tuning in. And to Zay's point, we'll be out in public. I've actually been recognized people who say, hey, I watch our show. I mean, you'll be amazed at who stops and like, I see y'all show, man. The podcast is good. I'll be like, why don't want you comment? Oh man, you know, I don't really read that stuff. Just comment, like, share.
Right.
Oh man. The Unreasonable Man.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because our last week Instagram views was low. So I ain't finna be nice about this shit, man. Like the page, share the page, and comment. YouTube, does that? You know how much effort it takes to do that? None. It takes no effort to do that, man. Y'all sit up here, soak up all this game for an hour and some change every Monday. The least you can do, and I do mean the least you can do, is press the share button. Is comment and press like, something like that. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Now, when we start dropping this cash out, I'm gonna start asking for some money too.
By the way,
we're gonna pass around the collection plate. So, and it's coming. It is coming. But
so is the merch. The merch is coming.
The merch. Also, we're doing product sponsorship. You know, you got a product that you want us to sponsor. You know, you can come to us, holler at us, we'll sponsor it. All we need from you is a discount code that let us track what we bring in, and then we'll discuss the numbers later. But no, we're gonna discuss the numbers first. but honestly, man, I appreciate y'all for coming, man. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me and us, and I appreciate that. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Chris, to your point, ladies, stay out my DMs and make it and comment. They'll tell me stuff about the show in the DM, but won't comment on the page. I had somebody today give me a shut up and dribble type analysis saying, we already got one date, doctor. We don't need another one. I was like, well, I can't have a thought.
Wow. Because you dropped some knowledge, though. That was some game. They ain't like that. You blew up their spot.
Oh, yeah. That's how I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Talk about that video. Wait a minute. You don't want to let
Which
me
one?
know you was on that video. Never
Nope.
mind.
Wasn't me.
Never mind. She getting thick, too, now.
I'll make sure she knows.
She getting thick, too. Well, I don't know what it is.
Man, listen. That was hilarious, by the way. Yeah. The comments just showed me how shallow people are. Little do they know. Man. All good.
All right. Well, shout out to Dave Simone having to endure the Honda hate.
We talked about that Drogon. We'll bring it back up, though. We don't understand it.
Well,
we'll bring it to the forefront again.
I don't know, because he got a double follow-up question. Why men leave their children?
Yeah.
You know what? He should add to that without blaming the woman. Because a lot of people be like, oh, man, she tripping. But, okay, she tripping. It's still your child.
We don't want to hear that shit.
I heard it was a song. It was the 1st of September. It was
September gone now.
Yeah, man. Listen, it was in a song. All right. Thank y'all for joining in another episode of the Black Super Friend. See you soon. Please hit that share button.